welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence. And it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
Hello.
Hi.
I was waiting for you to do your thing.
How are you?
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
I forgot. I forgot to go first.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So Spider-Man comes out this weekend. For us to see. But
yes, we have not seen it yet. We will see it this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
see it sometime.
I think it's Sunday.
Yeah, whenever. I don't care. I've got no plans. So
yeah, we gotta get out there and check it out because I'm hearing good things about it. Or at least
I'm trying to stay away from the reviews. I don't want to know.
Okay, I haven't heard anybody actually. I just heard Pat talk about on his podcast today, but some of the reviews, people are being very good not to spoil anything.
Well, that's good.
But they're saying that it's a nice homage to all the 20 years of Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man.
And I don't know, it's like 20 years? The fuck?
Right, and then we all wish we were dead.
And then we all
that does
jump off a fucking roof. Because next year will be 20 years since the original Spider-Man came out.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with this shit for that long.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I haven't looked at any reviews. I don't want to know. I have my suspicions, but I have no proof of anything, obviously.
I just want to be surprised. I don't care.
Yeah, so whatever. I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and go into it. I did see some premiere photos where, they were all at the premiere. Zendaya wearing this amazing dress.
Yeah, I saw.
Just with the spider webs on it. Itty bitty tiny titties. Just like legs for days. Like, man, some girls got all the luck. It was great. She looked great. So we love that. And that's about it. That is all I know about Spider-Man.
And Kumail Nanjiani was there wearing a great suit.
Oh, that's right. I did see that picture. There was a picture of Kumail Nanjiani there. And the suit he was wearing was fucking banger.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was like a really sweet suit and a matching shirt. And I was like, that's a suit.
Yeah.
That's a fucking suit.
He dresses really well.
He does. He has a lot of really great suits.
Yeah.
He must have a stylist, I'm assuming. But still, they're putting him in sweet-looking fucking suits, and it just makes me happy.
Doing a good job.
I'm always talking about suits.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Yeah, you like men's clothes.
I do. I really do. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so there's that, and speaking of Spider-Man, we did, because We Hate Movies is talking about the original Spider-Man, so we actually ended up watching that.
Yeah, it had been a while since I'd seen it.
Yeah.
I did see it in the theater when it came out. And then when we were watching it here, I turned to Sean and I was like, oh, you know what I like about this one? I can actually see what's happening.
Yes. Yes.
It's brightly lit. I can tell who's hitting who. There's like no glop.
Yeah. No,
that was nice. That was a very nice throwback to old movies.
Lightly brightly lit.
Lightly Brit?
Lightly Brit.
So slightly British? Is that what you're trying to say?
Hello.
It's lightly Brit, like Madonna after she lived in England for a couple years.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, original Spider-Man, still a banger, just a great movie, just a great movie with some iconic imagery. And, it was back, and the thing is, though, too, was back before we were spoiled, with Spider-Man movies and just superhero movies in general.
Yes.
So, and it was one of those, it was actually kind of nice to watch that movie, and then the credits rolled. And then I didn't stop watching the movie because you'd have to sit there and wait for
that's right.
all sorts of things.
There
going
weren't
on.
9,000 after credits scenes.
Yeah,
it was just the end of a movie. That was nice. I remember those days.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was actually kind of like It took me a minute to adjust to that.
Yeah.
When the movie was over, and I was like, do I have to wait? Oh no, I don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's on Peacock. And speaking of movies, I finally got around to watching a movie called The Curse. Mm-hmm. And it's something I've wanted to see for a long time.
Yep.
It was great because I don't check the Real Good app all the time, but sometimes you go back and check it after a while and you see all these movies that are actually up in this queue that are available on your services that you list.
Yeah.
And you're able to check them out for free or whatever, or if it's on your service. And I really wanted to see this movie, The Curse, because I remember it back when it came out, when I was a kid, and it was one of those it's a lower budget horror movie. It's like The Gate. I don't know if we ever talked about The Gate. It's a very Canadian movie.
I think we have. We've definitely talked about The Gate.
Yeah.
Because I was questioning the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the gate, and then there's also like the curse, and the curse. It's filmed here in the United States, but there's something very Italian about it.
Was it directed by an Italian?
No, but I feel there's Italian money.
Oh, that's possible.
The director actually was David Keith, who we last saw watching. He was the lead guy in Firestarter.
Okay.
And I didn't realize he directed that movie. But the gate. Okay, so the curse it's got Will Wheaton in it.
That's right. Very young Will Wheaton and his sister.
Is it his sister?
It's like Anna Wheaton was also in the credits.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his sister though. I assume it's his sister.
I'm assuming. Don't know if that's right. Let's assume.
Let's assume.
Let's not do any research to answer this question.
Let's not refer to IMDb and the millions of sources.
If only I had some sort of device in which I could look up this information.
Yeah, right. He was in this, and actually this movie came out like right when TNG, Star Trek TNG came out.
Yeah.
So obviously he was in that.
Yeah.
And they kind of made a big deal about it's like starring, Will Wheaton from TNG, and he's just playing like this wiener kid.
Yeah.
Who the premise is that
he's a wiener kid.
He's a wiener kid who's got a Bible thumping stepdad played by Claude Akins,
aka
they live
Sheriff in like a
Lobo.
farm.
Yeah, they live in a farm, and he's got a grimy stepbrother. And he's also got
farmhand.
Farmhand's a mom, and the mom is horny for Claude Akins, and he doesn't want to have sex because the women can't make advances.
Yeah.
Because the Bible said so. And
I don't think it says that in the Bible.
It's in the back.
Oh, is it in the back?
Yeah.
Is that where I missed it?
That's where all the stuff is that people reference. It's in the back.
You go
to the back, go to the last page, and it's like, oh, it's there.
Cannot come on to husband.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah.
Found it.
So she goes and has sex with the farmhand, and which amounts to nothing actually.
I could have sworn it. I figured that was going to come to so much more, and apparently no.
Well, I mean, Claude Akins because
there's like isn't there a meteor?
Well, that's the thing. I'm kind of burying the lead of the actual movie because
is that why you picked the book we're going to read today?
Oh no! It just happened to be a meteor in it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, that's actually kind of ironic. It's just happenstance.
Look at the synergy.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about a book with a meteor in it.
Yeah. So there's a meteor that comes from space, buries itself on this property where Will Wheaton is. It starts like melting and like leaking into the soil, and it affects the water. And people that drink the water, like, slowly go like they start getting like boils on their face. They start going insane. And like Will Wheaton's like, I'm not drinking the water because I know that there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, and everybody's like yelling at him to eat, drink the water. And, he and his sister don't drink the water. And, but then the water, but the meteor starts like decaying everything and just makes the fruit all big, but there's worms inside of it.
Yeah.
And like, just like the mother like cuts open like a tomato and just bleeds on her.
Oh, that's right. No, it doesn't just bleed on her. It like spurts.
Oh yeah.
It's like somebody has a fucking hose in that tomato. It just squirts in the fucking face for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And
there's no way it can hold that much tomato juice.
There's a lot of blood in that tomato. It's impressive.
Do you remember the Simpsons episode with the tobacco?
I think that was like one of the late. It's like the middle series.
Yeah, it's towards like the. Do you remember that?
No, I remember it. Yeah.
Sometimes when I bring up that episode, people don't know what I'm talking about, and I feel like I had a fever dream in which there was a Simpsons episode where they had a farm and they grew a plant that was a cross between tobacco and tomatoes. And then all the animals like attacked them at the end.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm the only person who remembers
Sounds
this.
mildly funny.
There was like some good moments in it.
Probably.
But for some reason, the tobacco episode always sticks in my head. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I remember you talking about it, but I don't remember. I don't remember ever actually seeing it.
See?
But I do believe you.
I feel like maybe I made it up.
Yeah, maybe you did. I don't know. I make a lot of things up.
I'm sure it's real. It has to be real. I could not have had that detailed of a fever dream.
Yeah, but there was something in this movie. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of ridiculous things in the movie. just a lot of people getting possessed. It's funny because his mom, Will Wheaton's mom, like she's the one that like gets like really fucked up by all this stuff. And like at the end, like the house is collapsing. He's like, I have to go save my mom. And he goes in the basement. His mom's just like a puddle. And she just goes, bleh. No, he's like, oh, I gotta save my mom. Yeah, no, it's a pretty wild movie. And I would, it's got a cool poster. It's one of those like, it's like a demon hand, like holding the house up like through the ground. And then like Will Wheaton's face is on the side. Also, it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft story.
Which one?
The one, Color Out of Space, which actually they remade that movie recently with Nick Cage, I think.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Yeah, but I just learned that when I was reading up about it. But yeah, The Curse.
Yeah,
it was on Hulu. There's something else that's bothering me that I was like, I wanted to talk about. That was really absurd, but it's a pretty fun movie.
Yeah,
and I think that's all I got for now. Unless there's anything else we want to bring up. I know you were pretty happy last week with your SVU.
I actually just had to do a quick correction because I was so angry last week on the podcast. I was yelling about Law and Order like old people do. And I actually, everything I thought was going to happen did not happen. So I was wrong, which I said in my review. I was wrong. So that's all I wanted to say. I was pretty happy about it. I will say that Sean actually put down his iPad to watch Organized Crime because he could not believe what was happening. Oh, because it was ridiculous.
I shouldn't have been laughing, but I thought
I was laughing. A girl died and we both laughed. I mean, but because it was unnecessary. But anyway, so yeah, so I was wrong. I had a good time. That's really about it.
Yeah, let's take a break and we'll go back with the book for this week.
Jeff and Rick present Unpacking the Power of Power Pack,
where we journey through each issue of the most underrated Marvel series of the 80s while drinking beer.
Analyzing awesome and amazing adolescent adventures and absorbing alcohol.
We got kids with powers, we got villains with attitude.
We got superhero guests, like all of them from the Marvel Universe.
We have thematically appropriate beer reviews.
We have good jokes and bad song parodies.
One stop for all your Power Pack pod-pleasing procurements.
And we got alliteration.
Find Unpacking the Power of Power Pack wherever fine podcasts are played.
Costumes on.
All right, we are back here in our worst collection ever with our book for this week. It is Metal Men Volume 2, question mark, number 1 from October 1993. I'm assuming it's Volume 2 because it's from the 90s and it's not the original series. So let's call it Volume 2. But it's the mini-series, a mini-series from the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And before I start, I want to give a shout-out to, if you're new to the show.
Hi.
If you may came from Comic Books The Bronze Age Facebook group, because I posted on there our episode from last week because it was a book from the Bronze Age. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to find places to post the show, see if people will check it out. And I just posted like the description I put on Twitter. And the picture of the comic.
Yeah.
And I got like 146 like
comments?
Not comments, but like likes and like a whole bunch, and actually quite a few comments.
Well, most of them were like, this is a great book. It's not bad.
Yeah. Well, somebody was like, man, I'd like to see what you guys think is horrible. And I was like, Guy Gardner, which I think people appreciated.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you're new to the show, I mean, we talk about comics and we just beat them up because our collection is pretty bad.
It's pretty shit.
I mean,
we have nothing of any value.
I mean, we do.
Do we?
We do. I mean, there's books over there that are somewhat worth money.
Like $2?
No, there's the ones in my dad's books.
$3?
They're worth more than that.
$4?
But
I am the only person who thought that was funny. Sean is just over it and I'm over here giggling.
But yeah, no, our books are, mostly just dollar store fare, dollar bin fare. Why? $5? You're just popping yourself at this point.
I'm having a good time.
That's all right. But yeah, we just, our books are just, they're not, all of them are lame, Yeah, we just talk about them. But sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't. But, and sometimes there's good stuff in there to talk about. We'll talk about anything because that's the fun of it. You know, because a lot of comics are just absurd. Actually, that's what I wanted to, well, something I did want to bring up. I've been doing a lot of reading on my DC app, but also I re-upped my membership to the Marvel app. So I've been reading through Acts of Vengeance, the crossover from like 89, 90. So I've just been reading through that, and I've been enjoying it greatly because it's something I've always wanted to check out. And there's majority of the books are on the app. Not all of them are on there for some reason. They should all be on there, but it's kind of like WWE Network, where like they have access to so much content, but not everything is on there, even though it should be.
Sure.
I mean, it's been around long enough where you just have some jabroni just uploading stuff, you know, and just get it done. But they have most of these books on there. And it's pretty wild because, like, you know, Acts of Vengeance is basically like Loki under some disguise of, I forgot what his character's name is, but he's like disguised himself and he's like, hey, supervillains, why don't we all get together and like try to like kill the superheroes? But instead of like just fighting the superheroes we normally fight, we'll have we'll switch like superheroes. So like, you know, Hobgoblin fights Doctor Strange and like Juggernaut fights Thor or whatever. So there's like different, you know, matchups. And I'm reading a lot of this Spider-Man and the Spider-Man stuff. Like Spider-Man just became a cosmic hero for some reason. Like he got zapped. And I'm surprised I haven't done this in the movies yet, which I'm sure they probably will at some point. But so he's a cosmic hero. And then also like,
Maybe that's what happens in this movie.
no, maybe. Yeah. I mean, and also Doctor Strange goes on like an Art Bell show,
Okay.
gets attacked by Hobgoblin, and it's pretty wild. And
What's he doing press for?
for like, because somebody wrote a book about him, and he wants to go on there and talk about the book and kind of be like, hey, because he tries to put off that he's not really Doctor Strange, even though he is. It's wacky.
Okay. It's like, so he dresses up as a different person?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think he actually shows up in his costume.
Well, then how is he still? I'm not Doctor Strange. I'm just cosplaying as him.
Because he's Doctor Strange, but he's not like Doctor Strange Mystic Arts. He's like Doctor Strange surgeon, but used to be a surgeon
But
or
he's
whatever.
wearing a fucking cape.
I don't know.
There's only two types of people who wear capes: magicians and goths.
That's true.
And you have to be one or the other.
I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe he's a secret goth. I don't know.
I can see Doctor Strange being a secret goth.
But I have, if you follow me on Twitter, I do post a lot of pictures from these books I read, which because it's been easier because like if I'm on the app, I can just screenshot it and like post it to Instagram or Twitter or whatever. So you get to see all these wacky panels. And I also read this one. I wanted to bring it up because I was reading through the Invasion storyline, and I haven't really kept up on it because it was kind of like depressing. Because it's like basically like aliens being like fuck Earth, and like
I don't know why that's depressing.
I don't know. Maybe that's because I just read Legends and it's about like society like freaking out over superheroes and like people kind of getting into like a panic. And then like that's one where the kids show up and the kids are like, "Don't fight the superheroes."
Oh yeah, because they wrote themselves into a corner.
They totally did.
Yeah.
But in the Invasion one, you know, the alien. I read this Flash one, and I kind of want to do this for the show, but it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of funny. Where like the Flash, like he's in his apartment with his mom and like his crew, and the police come in and say, "Hey, everybody in this building is being evicted because they haven't paid their rent." The Flash, so like he gets like kicked out of this building, and like his crew is like, "All right. So we're gonna go like away and fuck you, Flash, fuck you, Flash Bomb." Where, you know, so they don't know where they're gonna go, and the Flash like runs to the landlord's house. The landlord goes, "Oh, geez, I forgot to like fix this, so I'll fix it by tomorrow." Or whatever. So he's on the street, and then with his mom, and they're like, "Well, he's a Flash, and he needs to eat because he's a speedster."
Yeah.
So he needs to go. So they go to a restaurant, and all of his credit cards won't work.
Because he ate them?
No.
Oh.
But it would have been funny if he did. But no. It's like, no, his credit cards won't work, and he's like having these hunger pains, and his speed isn't working for some reason.
Does he cannibalize someone?
No, but he goes up. He starts like panhandling. This is only like over like one night.
He just fucking steal something.
Well, he tries. He goes up to and everybody's just like, like walking by him, and there's like some little girl's like, "Mom, look, a derelict," and then he goes up to like a pretzel vendor, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm not trying to be one of those people, but like, can you like give me a pretzel?" And he's like, "Here you go, you bum," and he throws it on the floor and on the ground, and like the Flash eats it.
Of course he does.
And then he shares a chocolate bar with a homeless man, and then the aliens come, and so then everything's okay. After that, like it gets, then everything gets. Oh, that's right. And then he abandons his mom for some reason because he goes to like find some. He goes to talk to the landlord, and he comes back and his mom's gone, and his mom is like, "Fuck you, son." It's actually like not very like superhero like. It's one of those books where you're just like, did you guys just like forget to write a superhero thing in here?
Yeah.
Just wanted to write him being a hobo?
Talking about their own personal problems about the time they tried to get a pretzel and the pretzel vendor threw it on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
They're like, this is going to happen in a Flash book now.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Cannibalism would have been a better story.
Was that?
Cannibalism would have been a better
Oh, that would be great if
story.
you just running around taking bites of everybody.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, I have to keep my blood sugar up, and he's just like chomping on some guy's fucking elbow. Just like gnawing on it.
Yeah, he just goes by like he bites everybody like a corn on a cob. Like, nah, 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 nah.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's like, oh no,
It's just some random guy standing at a fucking crosswalk. He's like gnawing on his leg.
he's getting
He'd be like that toe bandit or whatever the
toe sucking bandit.
yeah, whatever the fuck that thing was.
Well, the Flash would be so good at being a toe sucking bandit. He just like super like, oh, Halloween 3, nice.
Yeah.
He'd be like a super like toe sucker.
That'd be so gross. All of a sudden, your toe would be wet. Oh.
So I did step in anywhere. Oh no, it was the Flash. That's how I'm going to believe it from now on. Anytime I'm secretly moist.
Secretly moist.
Or anytime I'm subtly moist.
Are you just like walking around and like, all of a sudden this part of me is moist? Is that a common occurrence in your world?
I'm a dude. We get sweating. I don't know.
What's going on over there?
But
These weird male bodies.
anyways, if you're new to this show, hope you enjoyed all this tomfoolery. Let's get to our book. Again, it is Metalman, number 1 from October 1993. And I believe I kind of actually did a little bit of research because I was trying to figure out like where the Metalmen were at around this time. Mm-hmm. And I think aside from like an issue of like Justice League Europe, like they haven't really done much like since Crisis.
Yeah.
So they've kind of been out of it. And I feel like this was just a thing that they were doing to see if people wanted the Metalman again. And I think that it didn't work because they didn't. They only had a miniseries, and then I think they had another ongoing a couple years later, maybe another miniseries, and now they just kind of show up.
Yeah.
But my dad loved the Metalman.
Can I ask a question about the Metalman?
Sure.
So are they robots made of different metals, or are they just like sentient globs of metal?
No, the robots made out of specific metals that are Dr. Magnus has somehow engineered to be able to
Take on the properties of the metal.
take on the properties of metal and morph themselves.
Because that's what I thought they were robots, but then like Mercury in this, he just like literally splots himself.
Well, because he's Mercury.
Yeah, but if he's a robot, doesn't he need some sort of gears and structure? And I'm confused.
I don't know enough about
That's why I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a sentient blob of metal.
Right.
That makes sense because then he could do whatever, but I don't know.
No, I don't think they're sentient. I think there's some sort of
I don't understand
like
how
engineered
robots
device or whatever
work. Yeah, I don't understand it.
that Dr. Magnus created, and I don't really know much about them. I know my dad used to love the Metalmen.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I got his comics, he had a lot of Metalmen,
Yeah.
and I was always kind of amused by that.
Yeah.
Because it's like a very like niche like superhero.
Well, you got that from your dad. You guys both like weird, obscure superheroes.
Yeah.
That nobody else cares about.
Yeah, not really many people care about the Metalmen.
Yeah.
But they did have a miniseries in 1992 from the team that killed Superman.
Sweet.
So
the people who wrote The Death of Superman.
right, Dan Jurgens and Mike Carlin and Brett Breeding. I know Dan Jurgens was a part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Although when I first read that,
You thought the Metalmen killed him?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, Did Metal Man kill Superman? I don't remember that.
They became Doomsday by basically like Voltroning themselves together.
Which they can do.
Yeah, that would have been a fun story.
They do that. Apparently, I learned, I kind of caught up on the Metal Men, and apparently they have an option to conglomerate and become alloy,
Okay.
and that's like their Voltron form or some sort.
Oh, I see. Why
So-
didn't they do that in this book?
I don't know. Maybe because they didn't just do it yet. I don't know.
Okay.
It's Metal Men are wacky.
That's true.
They're wacky. So, anyways, on the cover here, we've got it's a foil cover. So
Yep.
it's nice and shiny.
It is nice and
very
shiny.
90s. But actually, I kind of like this. Is kind of like a nice. I kind of like looking at it.
Yeah, it's nice.
I really do enjoy it.
It does look nice.
And the Metal Men are in the midst of like a battle with Doc Magnus, who is shooting at them, and Platinum just has her head like knocked off,
Yes.
which is kind of fun. And yeah, he's just shooting holes into all the Metal Men. And on the bottom it says, Doc Magnus made them. Only he can destroy them.
Uh-huh.
So we start off with
A meteor.
a meteor.
It's coming to Earth. It's on its way. And there's people who are noticing it. So you get all these little light boxes.
Right, it's the Australians.
The Australians are like, oh no. They actually do say shrimp on the Barbie
Yeah,
in this fucking thing because apparently
that's all the Australians.
that's all
talk.
Australians say. And that's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's like, hang on, maybe if you give me a Foster's, I'll be able to figure out this meteor.
How horrible is it? Like, I feel bad for the Australians. Like, we know 3 things about them.
Yeah, it's true. I literally know.
Americans in general know 3 things about Australians.
4. Paul Hogan.
Well, that's what I mean. You got that's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah.
Throw a shrimp on the Barbie. There's a place called Outback.
Oh, that's
which
true.
we've also turned into a steakhouse. Kangaroos are terrifying, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are the things that we know. Oh, also, you guys have all the bugs, and what the fuck is that? Like, that's all we know about Australia
Yeah, I don't
as
think-
stupid-ass Americans.
I don't know anything about like their sports. I don't know anything about their television.
I assume they play rugby. I did watch Drag Race Down Under, so I know that they have that.
Oh, yeah.
They have a drag scene. Also, they had some New Zealand queens come over,
Okay.
so that was a thing too.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't know much about Australia. I actually would like to go, but be like in the city so I don't get like murdered by animals.
Well, we can't go to the Outback.
Yeah, I don't.
We would get lost and die.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to end up like that.
No, we would have to go to one of the cities. I would like to go too, but apparently, very long plane ride
Oh yeah, because you're flying
to the ass end of the earth.
ass end of
basically.
the earth. Yeah.
But yes, I would like to go to Australia myself. It'd be nice.
The Australians are like, "Good day." Where's the
meteor's coming.
Meteor's coming.
Wait, it's gonna hit America. Neat.
Well, they get
don't
hit America,
say
and they're like, "Come on, man! I wish it would hit here."
Why?
Because they say in that they're like, well, you know, they say in the one of these guys says like, well, you know, it'd be great if it hit here because Americans get everything else. Like they had Superman dying and coming back, you know, and then they, you know, whatever. So we never get anything cool. So we should get.
You don't want the giant, like, life-ending meteor to hit your continent.
I don't think it's that big of a meteor. It turns out not to be that big of a meteor. I think they just want to have just a meteor.
Oh.
It's not like, you know, like
I
an
mean-
Armageddon-sized meteor.
They don't really need a meteor. You know what I mean? Like, Australia has enough weird shit referencing the bugs I mentioned
They're
earlier.
feeling left out.
They've got koalas that apparently have riddled with chlamydia, terrifying kangaroos, and a bunch of fucking emus who literally won a war against their government. So they have tons of shit. They don't need a meteor.
Well, they want one.
Okay.
They want one, and that's...
They're not going to get it.
They're not going to get it because instead of hitting Australia, it hits New Jersey. They just show this random family just watching the news.
I'm sorry. I just remembered. I totally forgot to mention this earlier. I don't know why New Jersey made me think of it. Spider-Man premiere.
Uh-huh.
Jared Leto went
Yeah.
dressed as Paolo Gucci.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he talk like Paolo? I wonder if he just walked around like
I
Paolo
don't know,
Gucci?
but he had the makeup on and everything.
Is he insane?
100%. That dude's whack. I don't know what is
Did he
happening.
realize that that's not the movie he's in?
Maybe he went to show his sketches. He wanted to show his sketches to Peter Parker.
That sounds like Sean Young going to Tim Burton's house or something, dressed like Catwoman.
Oh yeah, is she the one who was like walking around the lot in the cat suit?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that kind of crazy. But it's not a fun kind of crazy. It's kind of like, hey man.
It's a real weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about it until you said New Jersey for some reason.
No, fair enough. So it hits New Jersey, but I like this shot of this family just sitting there watching it, and the news reports like meteor mania seems to take hold of the planet. And his father's just sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, sometimes the meteors just like break up, coming into the into the atmosphere, but this one hasn't." And
I'm not gonna lie. If I found out a giant meteor was coming and it was gonna kill all of us, I'd have meteor fever.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'd be like, finally, finally.
I would eat everything I want.
Absolutely, I would do so many drugs. I don't do drugs, but I would do them if I was going to die. Eat everything you want, fuck everything. Why not?
Yes.
Right? We're all going to get exploded.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean,
Giant meteor.
Needs to happen.
At this point.
I do like this kid though, because he's just like, 'cause the father's like, yeah, this one hasn't broken down. He just goes neat, but he just looks so like bored. Just sitting here, he's like neat.
That's me.
Yeah.
Neat.
So as all that's happening, there's a dude hanging out in the forest. We come to meet him later, but he's just hanging out in the forest, being like, "Oh, I want to get that meteor." And then we're in the Magnus robotics, and Dr. Magnus, the government's there, and they're like, "Hey, can we use your robots to like go look at this meteor, because we don't really want to send like humans.
Yeah.
We want to like get your robots all radioactive.
There could be an alien.
Yeah, there could be an alien.
Some sort of alien virus, which apparently we wouldn't care about.
Yeah.
Considering how well we've handled this pandemic.
We don't care if the aliens stick tentacles in your robots.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're just going to record that and put it up on Pornhub.
Yeah. Government wants to use his robots. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah, man. But the metal men themselves
they want to go.
Are bored. And
yes.
It's like we just see like panels of them just
There's also like, is this the weird picture where they're introduced and like Sue just has like this metal hump of an ass?
Oh, you mean Platinum?
Platinum, sorry. Why do I call her Sue?
Because you might do a Sue Storm, probably.
Yeah.
There's a yeah.
She's like, hey, she might be made of platinum, but don't worry, boys, she can fuck.
Yeah, you could stick it there.
Because it's just like they're all fighting because they're bored.
They're all fighting and just like God, now I don't want to fucking say it, but now I'm gonna have to.
Oh no, you don't have to.
Okay, I won't.
Okay.
But it looks like iron and lead are doing something I've referenced on this show. Oh,
your favorite thing, docking.
I didn't want to say it. I was going to say it. So they're bored. They're sitting there and they're docking and they're having a.
I understand why you love this idea of docking.
I don't love it.
Sean loves docking. Are you going to be docking expert Sean Merrick?
Yeah, it could be on CNN.
Oh boy. Okay.
If it ever comes into those public consciousness, you can contact me.
So you are right though. They look like they are melding themselves together.
Yeah, they're melding, and then like you go like, in the next like another panel, like they're just like playing grab ass, like
basically just roughhousing.
Yeah, it's roughhousing. They're bored and they want to go, and they're like, yeah, let's go out and look for this meteor. And he's like, no. Dr. Magnus is like, no.
You don't leave.
You don't get to leave.
So I have a theory about the Metalmen. This is actually the story of a man who started a cult. Because this man has basically enslaved these people, robots, whatever, to do his bidding. And they think he is the best.
Yeah.
Even though he is a huge asshole to them.
He's pretty asshole. Yeah.
All the time. This man started a cult. That's what this is.
He has it started with a steel volleyball.
It did. I think he took regular people and he dipped them in some sort of leaf paint, like, gold, how you can get gold leaf.
Yeah.
And then these people now think they're robots and they're in a cult. Somebody needs to help them.
Yes, I agree.
This is actually a terrifying story.
Actually, I think I like your version better.
I definitely like my version better.
They'd be like the Vertigo version of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to go, and they're like, well, we can think for ourselves because
They're
we
like-
have these responsometers or something.
They're like, we could go, or you could tell us what's going on in level 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, I fucking hate all of you. I don't understand why Platinum keeps wanting to try to fuck me. It's real creepy.
It was because
Go get the fucking meteor.
he programmed them. So he kind of like set it up. I feel he acts like it's like a hindrance that Platinum keeps wanting to like hook up with them. But Doc's all worried about them being destroyed forever. He keeps saying that, like being destroyed forever.
But if they're just computer programs.
Well, because it's the thing is like even the robots say they're like, like you've always been able to build us again.
Yeah.
So like, if you just have the responsometers or whatever it is, you build us from scratch again. So what are you worried about? And he's like, I don't know. I'm being real dodgy. So Doc lets him go to get the meteor, and just as they're about to reach the meteor, a bunch of drones like scoop up the meteor and start carrying it away. They
try to stop it by like Mercury like throws himself into it.
Yeah, he basically like what they do is, and this is something they seem to. I feel like this is the only thing they know how to do is like turn into cannons and shoot each other at things.
There's also a part where like, is it Led who looks like he's like sitting on their like floating hover thing where he kind of looks like Humpty Dumpty?
Yes.
What the fuck is that?
Because he's encasing the meteor.
As a Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah. Well, because what happens is, so like Mercury, uses his liquidity or whatever to loosen up the bonds of these drones, and then gold turns into a net to scoop it up, and just to make sure it's not radioactive, they have Lead just like cover it. So as they're doing that, Mercury's on the ground though, and this is where he runs into, there's like that dude that's hiding in the woods, and he's like confronts him, and he's like, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, I wants the meteors. He's fighting with this guy, and the other middlemen are like, yo, let's go. So and this is where he's got where Led's like the Humpty Dumpty. He's basically like encasing it.
Yeah.
So they head back to the joint, and this is where in order to examine this meteor, the Dr. Magnus just engulfs himself in Lead, like the robot, just kind of like he wears him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
And gross.
Because that's a thing where it's like, are you just like...
You just use a suit, man. Like, you don't have to be inside someone else.
Yeah, like, you have to become like these guys' skin. Like,
I want to be inside you. And then he just like...
Is that how he gets them to do it?
Yeah. He just whispers, I want to be inside you. And it's very disgusting.
I want to be inside. And then, then he wears them. So he's like chopping up this meteor or whatever, and it doesn't seem to be radioactive, but Dr. Magnus is like, this meteor might be pretty cool because it might allow me to create another robot.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean another robot? Yeah, another metal man? And he goes like, there's never going to be another metal man.
Well, then what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, are you talking about sex robots? Like, what are you doing?
Right. And then there's like a knock on the door. So Platinum goes to get it, and it's like this other scientist, right? And
the scientist, it's a scientist. It's a guy we see in the woods.
Oh, it's the same guy. Okay.
Same guy.
Yeah.
And it's confusing because I had to read this a few times, and I don't know if
I did not catch this.
I don't know if it's because this guy he's Asian, because he's like Japan. I think he's from like Japan or something.
Yeah, his name's like what's his name again?
His name is Tonagawa.
Yeah. Okay, Tonagawa.
Platinum opens the door, and he just goes, so simply, I am inside the Magnus complex? I don't know why he's saying it like that.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a very
Is it like one of those ones where like comics try to phonetically write accents sometimes, which is never good?
No. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
He doesn't really have enough lines to try to figure out what's going on, but like he's like, "Oh, I'm here." And he's like, "Oh my God, is that so and so?" And he's
because he's like, yeah, he sees he knows his Dr. Magnus is there, and he's like, Dr. Magnus, I'm like your biggest fan.
Yeah,
and Dr. Magnus is like, yo, I've heard of you. Your shit is tight. And this Tonagawa is like, yo, I got a deal for you.
Yeah.
I want your responsometers.
Yes. Give them to me.
Give them to me. I give you money.
Yes.
And Dr. Magnus is like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Ain't for sale. Tonegawa was like, well, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him anyways. And so he sends his
little meteor capturing drones.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, that's the same drone that like tried to catch that stole the meteor. So then like the metalmen try to fight it. And then is it the meteor that crashes in through the ceiling?
No.
This is what I was confused about. I was like, what is this thing that crashes down?
No, this is another robot. This right here.
Is this Magnus's robot?
No, this is like this dude's robot.
Oh, because I thought it was part of the meteor came in through the ceiling and then there was a robot inside of it. And I was like, wait, is this an alien robot? I was very confused as to where this came from.
No, he brought his own robot. Like he wrote he wrote a robot to this
BYOR,
yeah, it's BYOR. And he parks it and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go inside and see if I'll go buy them. Oh, I didn't want to let me, or I guess if he's gonna sell it to me. You don't want to sell it to me? Fine. Robot smash this wall. And so the robot comes in.
So he plays Rock'em Sock'em Robots with the metalmen.
With the metalmen, they start brawling or whatever.
And the lab cannot handle this amount of fighting.
Yeah, well, this is the thing where like the metalmen again, they do another joint where they make themselves into a cannon.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They're always like, "Hey, why do I have to be another?" Like, doesn't even Mercury say like, "Why am I a cannonball?" or whatever?
No, that's the thing when they're on the ship.
Yeah,
they're on the going to get the thing, and he's like, "Oh, so you're gonna make me into a cannonball, aren't you?" And, and he's like, "Yeah, just shut up and do it."
Yeah, but
this one they actually have it where iron is the cannonball.
I mean, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
it's what we used to make cannons out of.
Yeah. And then Dr. Magnus, because he's an idiot. The drones are flying past him. He's like, "Don't go to level 12." Like he's yelling this out loud.
Right.
And the dude's like, Tonegawa is like, "Oh, level 12. That must be where like all your cool shit is."
Yeah.
So go to level 12. And he's like, "No, not level 12."
And like then they kind of don't they go through the floor?
Well, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Because this is where like Doc just like he like the metalmen are getting like thrashed by this robot, and he just like runs off to like level 12, and everybody's like, "Yo, Doc,
yeah,
shouldn't you like try to help us here?" And he's like, "Level 12."
Yeah, he's like really upset, and
this is where I keep my sex robots.
He basically brings about his own demise. Like if he just kept his fucking mouth shut, nobody would be bothering trying to get to level 12 right now.
Not my sex metalman, I wrote.
Not my sex metalman.
Again,
he's
Vertigo brand.
He's got a collection of sex metalmen. So I wonder if he like dresses them up and like orders them like wigs and stuff like those people who have real dolls do.
Oh, 100%.
You can even buy them like clothes and stuff. I mean like regular clothes.
Oh yeah.
Do their makeup.
Well, I bet like Platinum's like trying to get him to do that for her all the time,
Oh yeah.
She's like, I can literally fit into anything because I am a malleable robot.
What is it? Go to Cachet and buy me one of those fucking skin tight bandage dresses.
Yeah.
Do you remember Cachet? Is it still around?
I assume it's still around.
It
was like malls and stuff.
It's in malls, and it's usually like those like slightly quote fancy dresses.
Oh yeah.
And they're always like very tight and like every color. Like newscasters wear them.
Yeah.
Rich housewives.
So bandage dresses?
Yeah, don't you remember when the bandage... You probably don't know what this is. A bandage dress was a thing.
I'm just thinking mummies.
No, like Kim Kardashian would wear them, and like all these women wore them, and they literally look like you're wrapped in ace bandages, but they're different colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you see one, I'll Google it. Once you see it, you'll be like, oh, one of those.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about. You've seen these.
So they follow after the Doc, and he's over. They finally go to like level 12, and they're like, "Wow, we've never been here." And the Doc is just straight up going Rambo on these. Oh yeah,
he like
things.
fucking pulls out a gun, and he's like, "Stay away from level 12." Like, and you're like, "Calm down." And he basically brings about the collapse of his lab.
Well, yeah, because he starts shooting. He starts shooting at these drones, and then Metalman were like, "Yo, what's up?" And he's like, "Get away from level 12." He starts shooting at them, and so they go into some building or some place or whatever. These drones go into this like room, and he's like freaking the fuck out. Mm-hmm. I think they actually like case his whole body in like themselves.
What, the metalman?
Yeah, they kind of like piece each other together.
Yeah, they're like trying to like save him or something from the drones.
So he or no, they're fighting. I think they're fighting the drones. I think the other ones are fighting the drones, but then some of the other metal men are chasing after Doc.
Right.
And they go into this room, and there's a bunch of bodies.
Yeah. And
Laying
they're like,
on a
yeah, because
slab.
they're like, I can't believe we're finally at level 12. And they're like, it is a little bit cold in here. And then they're like, oh my God, there's bodies here. These must be like the bodies that the Doc was experimenting on or whatever. And then they realize that actually these bodies are supposed to be them.
Right. And this is when Doc shoots like a support beam or something explodes. And then that's where
Oh, this is where
the
everything
robot
goes
they
down.
were fighting and the other metal men crash through the floor.
Okay. I kept being like, when do they crash through the floor?
I know you're waiting for this crash, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
And they all land on these bodies.
Yeah, and they kill them. And so like the robot and the guy like go away. Like they're not in this last panel because it's just the Doc being really sad and being like, I've killed you again.
For some reason, I think there's a coloring error because he's having this tear, and you can see like he has this one blue eye.
Oh yeah. It's like
and
all
it's just,
gross.
but it's just all like he's just crying, but it's just all blue.
Yeah.
And he's just freaking out, and he's like, "I've killed you all again." I guess that's what happens. Look, I kind of dig the Metalmen, and maybe I've read a few, but I've never really read a lot of the original series.
Right.
This is just kind of boring.
Yeah.
In a way. Mm-hmm. The Metalmen are just doing stuff. They're just turning into things, fighting off these robots, and it's just, I don't know. It seems like it's a very like they can do whatever they need to do.
Right.
They're like a lot like Red Tornado in a way, where they do what they need to do. And
They're like Red Tornado meets Green Lantern, basically. Because they're like, we can form into other objects.
Yeah. I mean, they turn into different things, but they also job out hard.
Oh, constantly.
And they constantly get like blown up or just beaten up, and they don't seem very effective.
I also feel that this is my personal opinion just because I have no attention span because modern life has ruined me, but there's too many of them.
I think just 5.
That's too many.
You think so?
They're all kind of the same.
I get confused between lead and iron. Because I know that they're different metals.
Yeah, I do
too. But
too.
they're kind of like the same kind of composition.
That's what I mean. Like I get
like our construction, like body size.
When there's like, okay, gold, I can always tell who gold is. Obviously platinum's very easy. But then like the rest of them kind of, tin is short.
Yeah.
But then they kind of just all mix together. They don't really seem to have a lot of different personality. Yeah. But maybe that's because I don't read a lot.
I feel like I'm not really interested in reading them on a prolonged basis. Like maybe that's all they're good for, a miniseries.
Maybe.
And I'm not really interested in reading more of this. I just really like this cover.
Oh, the cover's great.
The cover looks nice.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And I was intrigued. They bring it back. That's the thing. They're kind of like, I'm trying to think of a character like in the 90s. They would always, bring it back. I mean, that's the thing. The Marvel,
Venom.
No, Venom's always been around.
I know, but I feel like wasn't it like really Venom heavy in the 90s?
Oh, of course. There's like a lot of these characters where they're just constantly trying to make them work, and I feel like,
oh yeah,
they only have like a few, they only have like limited runs, and then they go away.
Fair. Yeah.
But granted, now like comics reset themselves all the time, so it's kind of hard to keep track.
That's true. Yeah. Before it was like unheard of to like just relaunch everything, and now it's just like, we do it every 2 years.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
But anyways, folks, that's it for the show today, and that's it for Metalman #1 from October 1993. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever, and email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And please rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, and Bullhorn. And also check me out on other places like YouTube, Angry Hero 79.
Yeah, and if you really want to know what I think about the recent Law & Order Organized Crime episodes, you can read my reviews on jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
Very cool. All right, folks. Maybe next week. Well, I think next week we're going to try to do do a holiday book. I don't know which ones we have.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
But yeah, might spread some holiday cheer.
And then I might have like a DC or a Marvel.
I know I bought a couple Christmas ones. I don't know if we still have them.
They're probably hanging around somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll have to dig. But yeah, that's what we'll do next week. And we'll talk to you again next time, folks. Thanks for listening.
Bye.